Hi, I'm Hamp Smith. I'm one of the reference librarians here at the Minnesota Historical Society Library. Often students come to the library with assignments to do research in primary source materials, but when they start working here, they realize they're not quite sure what a primary source is. For historians, a primary source is a document, publication, or personal narrative from the time of the person or event being researched. For example, to someone researching Henry Hastings Sibley, his personal papers would be considered primary sources. Thus, this letter from Sibley to Lucius Lyon, even though it is a photostatic copy of an original document, is a primary source. So are letters, diaries, and other accounts by persons who lived in the same time and wrote to or about Sibley, like this digitized version of a letter from Henry Schoolcraft to Sibley. Other records about Sibley from his lifetime, like government records relating to him, would also be considered primary. Even things written about him in other contemporary sources, like newspapers, are primary sources. Art and photographs, too, can be primary sources. Secondary sources are materials like books and articles written about a person or event at a later time. This biography of Henry Sibley, for example, is a secondary source. The same is true of other later historical works that mention Sibley. For example, this history of Minnesota and this biography of Little Crow are secondary sources that mention some aspect of Henry Sibley's career. Keep in mind, though, that writers of secondary sources often use primary sources for their information. So, like a detective tracing a trail of clues, you can follow the footnotes in bibliographies of secondary sources to find primary sources about your person or topic. Have fun with your research, and remember, if it's still confusing, you can always ask a librarian for help.